Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wizard and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online. And today I'm showing you my beginner healer build from Magic Templar. This build is for beginners that can heal up to vet dungeons, I'd say. Normal trials and vet trials are a little bit different and you should upgrade your gear before that. But in order to get that gear, you're going to have to farm, of course, and this is the perfect beginner build to start farming and practicing being a healer. Now, healer is made for, healing and protecting your allies, while debuffing enemies and buffing your allies also. So, let's look at our stat sheet real quick. 31k magicka is, where you want to be. 90k health, where you want to be also, just so, you don't get one shot by some mechanics in certain dungeons. Spell damage, 1977, and spell critical, 29%. Those are both very good spell damage and spell critical to hit. Magic recovery is 2000, which is a little low, and you're gonna have some sustained problems, especially when you have to spam heals. You don't have time to heavy attack as much. Where you really want to be in the end game is around 2500 magic recovery. But right now this works well, especially with some skills that we're using. Health recovery and stamina recovery don't matter that much, and also spells and physical assistance. So, you can see our attributes are 54 in the magicka and 10 in the health, and we're using the Witch Mother's Potent Brew with the Atronach Mundus Stone. That's our character sheet. Now let's move on to our gear. Starting with the weapons, we're using on our front bar a Restoration Staff of Torag's Pact. This is a craftable set. I believe it's 3 trait craftable with a powered trait and an Absorb Magicka enchantment. Torag's Pact is very good Magicka set for healers. Spell damage, health, spell resistance. It increases your survivability and it increases your heals. Done. Next is on our back bar, Lightning Staff of Torag's Pact with a charged enchantment, with a shock damage enchantment, charged trait with a shock damage enchantment. And this is going to apply off balance, which increases the enemy's damage taken by 8%, really increasing your group's DPS in the long run by 8%. Next is going to be our head and shoulders. Our head and shoulders is going to be Torag's Pact, Divine's Magic Enchantment, and the shoulders, Divine's Magic Enchantment also. This is going to give us our 4-piece bonus, so we can maximize the bonuses out on our set that we're using. Next, our 5-piece is going to be 5-piece Karganak's Hope, all Divines, with a Magic Enchantment on all of it. Karganak's Hope is one of the best sets for healers. Magicka, Magic Recovery, Health, and Spell Damage. And also decrease the time it takes to resurrect an ally by 24%. When you successfully resurrect an ally, you restore 1600 magicka. Not really that big of a deal, but sometimes it could be pretty useful. The 2 to 5 piece, including the spell damage, are all very good for healers. We need all 3 of those. We need all 5 of those bonuses, especially. This is a crafted set also. I believe it is 7 trait, so you can pick up all the Answers of Silk and mats you need in the guild stores and stuff. So no farming required for the mats. And then next is going to be our jewelry. It's going to be 3-piece willpower. Our necklace is going to have magic recovery. Our rings are going to have spell damage. All 3 of them have the arcane trait on them. Willpower set is just a plain Jane Magicka set that you should really have. 2-piece adds max Magicka, and 3-piece adds spell damage. Just the basic stat buffs that really increase your max Magicka and your spell damage. You can pick these up at the guild store really cheap. I got these purple. They're around like 5 to 10k, so you shouldn't really have any problem buying them. So yeah, this build is really, you don't really need any farming and it gets the job done well. So let's move on to our skills. Our skills on our front bar, this is going to be our restoration staff. Our first skill is going to be Breath of Life, healing an ally for 10k health, and another one for 3400. In this crit, it could hit up to 17k, I believe. And you do have to target in front of you, by the way. You could see on the cast time it says target cone, so you do have to aim this a little bit. With 3800 magicka cost, so you really can't spam this a lot. But it's one of the best burst heals in the game. So if someone gets they get heavy attacked by the boss or something, you can just hit this and they'll be back to full health. Next is gonna be our combat prayer. This is gonna be a rectangular area in front of you, healing for about half as much as Breath of Life, but it gives 3 buffs to our allies: Minor Berserk, Minor Resolve, Minor Ward, increasing the allies' damage done by 8%, and physical and spell resistance by 1320. So if we proc off balance, while we have this buff on, our allies are going to be doing 16% more damage against the enemy that is off balance, which is a lot and can help during boss fights, or even just doing ads and stuff. But of course it's going to be hard to keep up. It kind of has a high magicka cost, and the duration's only 8 seconds. So you're just going to want to work this into your rotation and stuff. Next, our O is going to be our area of effect heal. Healing an area for 2100 health, and healing an additional 2100 health every second for 3 seconds. And you restore 338 magicka for each friendly target hit by the initial heal, up to 3 targets. So you restore around 1000 magicka if you hit 3 targets in the area without any cooldown, I believe. So when the allies are getting hit by an enemy AoE or something, you're just gonna you want to pop this down, and they'll be able to survive easier. Next is our rapid regen. Now the other morph can be useful in certain emergency situations, but I prefer this one. It just gives the extra healing. So it heals you or up to 2 nearby allies for 18k health over 16.5 seconds. So yeah, before every fight, you just want to hit this, and it'll activate on them. See the health on our rapid regen. That's just gonna give us the healing over time. Next is gonna be our Parrying Light, dealing 2900 magic damage and copying their damage taken, and releasing 20% of it as additional magic damage. Maximum copy damage is 18,000, and when the effect ends, it heals you and nearby allies for 2800 health every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So this is going to help your damage and your healing, especially melee DPS. They're going to be crowded around the boss really close, and you have this up and they can heal them while they're really close to the boss. Next is going to be our emergency heal ultimate. Practice incantation. Channel the grace of the gods, healing you and nearby allies for 8300 health every second for 6 seconds. You cannot move, but you gain immunity to all disabling effects. So it's basically, you're basically spamming Breath of Life when you're using this. And it is buffed by, major mending and stuff by 25%, I believe, maybe. So yeah, you're just gonna want to use this if enemies are taking allies are taking a lot of damage. You're just gonna want to use this. Next, on our lightning staff, for our square, we have channeled focus. It gives us 5200 magicka. 5200 physical and spell resistance, but we use this for the magicka recovery. So 240 magicka every second. That's gonna give us around 480 magicka recovery, basically per every 2 seconds, and it only costs 980 magicka. So after 3 ticks, you've already refunded the cost. So we're going to use this to help our sustain, because you kind of have low sustain with this certain build. This is going to help get, you know, up to 2500 just by using this skill and having it down. Just having it down is going to help our magical recovery a lot. You don't have to stand in it also, by the way. Our triangle is going to be blockade of storms. Slam your staff down to create a storm barrier in front of you, dealing 1500 shock damage to enemies every 1 second, setting concussed enemies off balance for 5 seconds. This is just going to keep our enemies off balance when they're concussed, which is the lightning damage's special effect. And of course that it gives them 8% more damage taken. So you want to keep this down on the boss basically at all times. You know, just set that down, and it lasts for 8 seconds, so you just want to work into your rotation. Next we're going to have this one, Elemental Drain. Basically it gives enemies major breach and applies minor magic steal, causing you and your allies to restore 300 magicka every second when damaging them. This applies to you also. So channel focus with Elemental Drain, you shouldn't have any problems with sustain. So yeah, also you want to keep this up. It is a very long buff, but you know, when it kind of gets hectic, you got to keep an eye on it. Next is going to be a Luminous Shards. This can be a buff to our allies mostly, with a little bit of damage over time. An ally near the sphere can activate the Holy Shard synergy, restoring 3900 magicka or stamina, whichever maximum is higher. They also restore 1900 magicka or stamina, whichever maximum is lower. So basically you want to throw this down, throw some damage over time, and the tank or the DPS can activate it, and they'll be able to get some magicka or stamina back, whichever one they have. Next is going to be our Extended Ritual. This is going to be another healing over time in addition to our rapid regen. Extended Ritual is going to put a big circle down, and any ally standing within it is going to get 1141 health every 2 seconds for 24 seconds. Also, when you activate it, it purifies 5 effects from yourself, and any allies can activate the Purify synergy, cleansing all humber effects from themselves and healing for a good amount. So you just want to keep this down with your rapid regen and your rune with your Elemental Drain, and you shouldn't have any problems with sustain or healing over time at all. Next, this is mostly used when you're fighting ads, like a lot of ads are coming at you. You want to use Solar Prison. It's going to reduce the enemy's damage done, so it is a debuff to the enemy while dealing magic damage to them also. An ally can activate the Gravity Crush, dealing 2500 magic damage on enemies and stunning them in the area. So you know, when a lot of ads are coming, you're just gonna you're gonna want to use this, and it'll activate it. And any ally can activate the synergy. So that's it for our skills, and we're gonna move on to champion points next. Alright guys, starting with our champion points at the top of the tower. This isn't gonna be very long because CP is kind of hard to distribute, and I didn't do it perfectly. So here's my champion points. The tower, 44 in the Warlord. In the Lover, we have 75 Arcanist, 75 Tenacity. The Shadow, we have 30 Tumbling, 46 Shadow Ward. In the Apprentice, we have 100 Blessed, 72 Elfborn, 45 Ellie Expert, and 30 in the Spell Erosion. In the Mage, we have nothing. In the Ritual, we have 23 in the Thaumaturge. In the Steed, we have 81 Ironclad, 43 Spell Shield. In the Lady, we have 49 Hardy, 49 Elemental Defender, and 48 Thick-Skinned. In the Warrior, we have nothing. And so that's our champion points. So guys, that's going to be our easy beginner build for Magic Templar. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to you. All the parts in this build, all the gear is going to be really easy to get. Most of it is craftable with the necklaces and the jewelry being able to be bought in the guild store for pretty cheap. Other than that, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.